I hope you are all well and you've had a good week. Now that is something I say every week, so I'm going to try and stop saying that. So let's crack on. So just to remind you that every week we do a Zoom. So if you want to share some news or have a chat about anything, then you can join us on Zoom. We are always here, and now we do the big Rapport Zoom, which some of you were a part of last week, and it was lovely to see your beautiful faces. So this week, I know it seems a bit silly to do a warm up, but for me it's nice to do. I just thought it'd be nice to do a drama exercise, even if we're not necessarily doing a big activity, just because it's nice. It's a good fun thing that you can do, and you can get your family involved if you want to, and also it's just nice. So this week our warm-up is called Challenge Chair. Now it's quite a simple game. If you want to play this as a family, it is very good fun. So just find a chair or a seat and pop it in the middle of the room, and then I'm going to give you a subject, and then you have 10 seconds to think of to name, not to think of, you say them out loud, to name as many items as you can relating to that item in just 10 seconds. So for example, if I said football teams, you'd have to give me as many football teams as you can think of in 10 seconds. So you'd have to tell me. So if you are going to play with your family, or you could even play with your friends over Zoom or however you're communicating, you could see who can name the most items in 10 seconds and have a little competition. Or you could even challenge yourself. You could challenge yourself to see if you can get one more than you did on the last go. So yeah, it's a very fun game, very easy, very simple, and you could just play this when you're bored. It just challenges your mind a little bit. It's a good fun game, anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to give you your subjects, and your subjects are animals. So any animals that you can think of in 10 seconds. TV shows, any TV shows. Things you can find in your fridge. We all know that one. We've all been eating a lot, let's be honest. And countries. So as many countries as you can in 10 seconds. So those are my ideas, but why not come up with some of your own if you want to? Okay, so again, as I said last week, I would like to try and create a radio play about hope. So I hope you've all had a chance to listen to The Archers, the radio play that I linked to you last week. If you haven't, then the link is on last week's lesson plan, or you can just Google The Archers on YouTube. Not Google The Archers on YouTube. You can just YouTube search The Archers. I've also included another link which has a radio play adaptation of Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, so you can listen to that one as well, and then you can kind of compare the two and see how they differ. So that one is on the lesson plan that I've got just in front of me here, so it will be linked with the email. So what I would like you to do this week is I'd like you to try and think about what may be different about how you would speak on the radio compared to a visual play. So I'd like you to try and research that, and then try and show that in your writing. So in order to understand radio plays more as well, it might also be a really good idea to try and research the history of radio plays and kind of how they came about, and the peak of their popularity and things like that. Wikipedia is a good source for that, but also just Google. Have a Google. So things I would like you to think about, and see if you can kind of, when you're watching, when you're listening, actually have a think about these and see if you can kind of tick them off. So do you think that you have to change how you'd write your character as a result? Speaking clearly and concisely. Now, obviously they do this, and this matters when you're on stage too, but do you think you might need to make an accent less prominent, or you might have to kind of keep the accent but make sure that it's very, very clear? Because, you know, especially like West Country, some American accents and stuff like that, even some British accents, think, you know, like Liverpudlian Scouse, Mancunian, kind of, you know, Yorkshire, all of those accents, you might have to make sure that you can say them really, really clearly, so then it comes across in the play. Are you able to still say as a response, do you think? And so then how would that be different to a stage play if that is the case? Also, another thing, body language. Now, you can see that I use my hands quite a lot when I speak. You can't see me doing that if I am on the radio. So body language is less easily portrayed. So how does this change how you respond or speak? Now, do remember, when you are doing a radio play, you would still be in a recording studio, so you might still be acting stuff out, so that might come across, but it also might be something that doesn't come across, so you need to have a think about that. So those are the things I'd like you to research. So I'd like you to go and listen to The Archers if you haven't already, then go and have a listen to the other radio play I've linked, which is Oliver Twist, and then see how those two differ, and then I would like you to think about what may be different about how you speak on the radio compared to a visual play, and just do a bit of research into the history of radio plays as well. And then just the 3 points that I've mentioned, so try and tick those off as you're researching. So do you think you would have to change how you would want to write your character? Do you have to change your accent or make it less prominent or more clear? Do you think you're still able to say as a response? Because obviously I'm doing a shoulder shrug there. And again, that leads into how body language is portrayed. So how are those two different? So for next week, as well as doing all of those things, trying to tick those off the list, I'd also like you to think about some buzzwords relating to hope. So as I said last week, it could be spring, it could be, you know, any aspirations for the futures, things like that. And do start writing a few sentences that you'd want included in the script. So if you are doing buzzwords, you might even, you know, do like a spider diagram and then try and form some sentences off of that. You know, it's just anything that comes to your mind. It's no pressure. It's just, you know, with radio plays, you can keep it especially simple. So just think of a couple, 3, 4, 5 if you want to, kind of basic sentences about hope or dreams or anything that you think relates to those words, and create them. And then even if it's not kind of sentences that would follow on from each other, just random ones that we can try and pop into the play in different places, if that makes sense. So just 5 sentences, 4 sentences, a couple of sentences, relating to hope, essentially, and that's it. That's all I want you to do this week. Do remember as well, I would like to hear from you. So Fee is always available on WhatsApp on 07799691328. So 07799691328. So obviously I can't be in direct contact with you apart from if we're doing Zoom. So if you've got any queries about this, just contact Fee, she'll pass it on to me and I'll send you the response. So if you've got any queries about that, then do contact her. But just remember, you can also just contact her if you just need to talk. But that's it. So just get researching and have a great week.